Ah, yes. It's nice to wake up after a big win, especially in the playoffs. Welcome into Mavericks Today. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here. What a performance last night, Coop. 30-point win, 123-93 to go up 3-2. Both teams have today off as they're flying back to Dallas. Game 5 tomorrow, which of course we'll be live for.
Yes.
Can we just get some more dubs in the comments?
Get the dubs going,
let's
baby.
Let's go. Absolutely monumental win
I'll tell you
for
what,
the Dallas Mavericks.
It was very nice to have a stress-free fourth quarter.
It was.
I can't remember the last time that's happened in the postseason. Luka left the game with more than 6 minutes remaining, and we just chilled out. Jaden Hardy, in his 5 minutes, outscored James Harden, so that was fun.
That was actually really fun.
Yeah, it was a great performance all around. The Mavs took care of business on the road. Now they have a chance to close it out at home, and that crowd at the American Airlines Center is just going to go insane.
8:30 tip Friday. We'll be live here on the channel 8:15, so be sure to join us. I think we should rehash some of the notes from last night. Luka, sprained knee, illness, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, over 50% from the field.
What drugs did they give him?
He hit his last 2 threes as well. That's been a bit of an issue for him this series, but he was terrific, man. In a game you had to have it, he put an A performance out there.
I just have to believe that the Mavericks are going to go into Game 6 with all the confidence in the world. And the thing that gives me even more confidence that they're going to win this thing is they don't have Kawhi Leonard walking through that door to go give them 45. I think Luka's rounding into form here at the right time. I think he did play his best game of the series last night, and hopefully the knee is just kind of something that he'll learn to play with, which I think he has, and the sickness subsides itself, and they go out there and they just crush him again.
Yeah, look, I thought he moved pretty well on both ends. I thought defensively he was solid. Now, he didn't have to guard their top guys extensively like it seemed like he got stuck doing in Game 4, especially late. But I thought when he did get stuck on Paul and James Harden, he
did okay.
He did a good enough job. Not as good as probably Game 2 and Game 3, but he held his own there, which is all you really need him to do if he's not going to be 100%. If he's going to give you, efficient scoring offensively and ball distribution, that's going to play
good enough
each and
for
every
me.
night. So, and another reason I think the Mavs should feel confident going into this next game is you kind of just got a game from Kyrie Irving. I mean, he wasn't bad by any means, but you just didn't need him to perform. So if he comes back, gives you 25 or 30 in Game 6, I think you feel really good about your chances of closing this thing out.
Yeah, you got a meg game from Kyrie, but I will say he started out good. He started out well.
I think he had the Mavs'
quarter.
first 2 baskets or 2 of the first.
And that is something that hasn't happened in any game this series. So if he's going to start out well, hopefully he can put it all together here in Game 6 and have a nice performance. I can't wait for Friday. I just keep saying it. It'll be awesome.
I mean, he gives you 14 points and you win by 30. You got to feel good about that.
Another guy who had maybe the best performance of his playoff career was Maxi Kleber.
Definitely up there. I mean, he had a game against Utah a couple years ago in that first-round series where he kind of went nuclear from 3 as well. But we've kind of said it all series. If he can give you 6 points a game with his defensive versatility, you kind of just take it. But 4 threes in the first half, Coop. Made another one after halftime. 5 of 7 from downtown. He's shooting the ball with confidence, and the Mavs need him to because
yes, they do.
A guy like P.J. Washington is not shooting the ball that well right now. So if a guy like Kleber can pick up some of that three-point shooting, that certainly plays a big difference.
I know we all have our complaints about how Jason Kidd handles the rotation, but if Maxi is shooting like this, I can guarantee you he's going to be the closer at the 5. Yeah, it is what it is.
He's going to be out there over 20 minutes a game if he's shooting the ball well. There's no question. I think, Coop, we've come to the same conclusion. The third best player for the Mavericks in this series has been Derrick Jones Jr.
Absolutely,
I mean, he's scored in double figures 4 games in a row. He's been unreal defensively, especially on Paul George. He's also guarded Harden a good amount as well. I mean, he's kind of become the unsung hero of this team, a guy that I remember when they signed him, we were kind of like, well, it's like a 14th, 15th guy. He's a good athlete. I mean, he'll probably not be in the rotation, but it's kind of a fun signing. I mean, he is a stalwart on this team right now, and he's shooting the ball better from 3. Remember early in the year he was shooting great, then he kind of wasn't for a while, and that seems to have come back. He's attacking the rim when, and I think he's doing it in the right spots.
Yes,
he's not forcing the issue, but there's 2 or 3 times a game where he'll make a cut and he'll get a pass and take it, or he'll get a matchup that he likes and he'll get downhill. So he's giving you 10 to 15 pretty much every night, and he's playing his ass off defensively. I really like what Derrick Jones is doing. He also had 3 blocks last night.
He's having a monster series, like you said. I think he's been the 3rd best player on this team, and he's going to play heavy minutes going forward as well. He's given the Mavs such a spark, especially on the offensive end where you don't really expect much from him.
That's just extra. If he's scoring, I mean, that's just extra.
He's starting to hit the 3 again, kind of like he was at the beginning of the season as well. So he's been absolutely huge for this team. And I think that if they're gonna close this out in Game 6, he's gonna have to be big again.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. We'll be live, like we said, Game 6 watch party here on the channel. Thanks to everybody who tuned in last night. We'll run it back again tomorrow night. If you're at the AAC, party it up for us.
Stay loud.
This thing out. 8:15 Central. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be at 9:15 with tip-off at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. I thought Daniel Gafford, the raw stats won't jump off the page for Coop, but he had to check back in with about 4.5 minutes left in the first half when Lively picked up his 3rd. And I thought that 4-minute stretch to end the half and the 4-minute stretch to start the second half was the best minutes he's given this series. Really good energy. He threw down a couple dunks. He went 4 of 6 from the free throw line in that stretch as well. Remember, and I think he checked back in when it was 44-42.
Yes, he did.
And by the time he checked back out, the Mavs were up 20+. So he was really good in that stretch. Lively's been good in this series as well. But, regardless of who's starting, who's coming off the bench, I thought last night was the best kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, complementation, if that's a word, of these two on the same night, where they both played pretty damn well. Like, they complemented each other, where Gafford gave you good minutes, Lively gave you good minutes. Again, we talked about this in the regular season, Coop. Like, there were several games down the stretch where they were combining for over 20 points and 15 rebounds. Last night, they combined for 20 and 12. It was nice to see, especially for Gafford, because, this has kind of been a tough series for him. But
and look,
it was nice.
I know the Mavs always talk about, and Jason Kidd always talks about, we need a 3rd scorer to really step up. Well, if you combine Lively and Gafford as that 3rd scorer, you'll take 20 points from those two every day of the week. I think this was Gafford's best game of the series, and Lively is coming into his own as a playoff performer here as well. So really like what I'm seeing from the centers right now.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. It was really a complete effort last night. Luka did his thing, and then you kind of had 4 to 6 guys also, chip in. Like
Absolutely.
That was kind of the formula last night. Definitely the best offensive performance from Dallas in this series. All right, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. We love Prize Picks. We play it every single day. Got Major League Baseball picks that you can make daily. You got NBA, hockey playoffs as well. You can cross over sports with your entries. 2+ players, 2 to 6 player entries. And Prize Picks gives you stat projections. And you just take more or less, like 15.5 points a game. You can take more or less on that player. That's how it goes. Coop is going to unveil his little entry that we've got going tonight.
Got a little Dallas ties here. We got Jalen Brunson here with the more 45.5 points, rebounds, assists. I think he has a big game tonight, and the Knicks end up closing that out. Miles Turner, give me the more on the rebounds and assists as well. He might get the more on the rebounds alone. So I like that with Turner. And then Tyrese Maxey, who has been tearing it up for the Sixers, might be their best player right now. I'm going to take the more on there as well, even though I still think the Knicks are going to end up closing that one out.
Garland's finest there. 10 to win 50 on this 3-player entry. But again, if you want to get in on some baseball action, you got season-long NFL stat projections. It's all available. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The code CLNS gets you a deposit match up to $100, gives you extra money to play with. Choose more, choose less. It's Prize Picks. It's easy. It's fun. Go make some money. Okay, I think really what's stood out in the 3 games the Mavs have won, Coop, is they've just been excellent defensively.
Absolutely.
Paul George and James Harden last night.
They were both hideous.
Were quite frankly horrendous. Now, I think the Mavs deserve credit for their defense, especially on George. Like, 2 of the 4 shots he hit, Coop, were late in that third quarter. You're talking about very contested, tough, long shots. One was a 3, one was a 2.
They were very stingy on him again, and they were going to make sure that what happened in the first half of Game 4 wasn't going to happen again.
Jones and Washington are doing a great job. I know PJ's not scoring much, but he's been really good defensively. Paul George had 15-11, but it was a struggle. And classic Harden, Coop. Through 4 games, he honestly was probably the most consistent Clippers player, and then the biggest game of the series, total no-show. 2 of 12, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Could not make a 3. He also, early on, I think it was a good sign for the Mavs. He did get to the paint a couple times, missed that floater a few times, and he just never seemed to get it going after that.
I don't know if the pressure got to him or what, but it was a horrible performance from James Harden. And our boy Jaden Hardy, in 5 minutes of time, doubled Jaden Harden's point total with 14.
He outscored James Harden and Westbrook by himself.
I don't put much stock into what Hardy did last night, but it was a pretty awesome little 5-minute spurt there from him.
Look, he could score. We know that. Now, that's about as low pressure playoff minutes as you're going to find, but I think he kind of has the same mindset every single time he goes in. If I get open looks, I'm going to take them, and he was able to make those. Then he had a couple nice drives, had a couple finishes with the left hand as well. He's really skilled, man. I don't know what his role is moving forward in the playoffs. Probably not much unless they get into some foul trouble, but I still think long term he could be a part of this team. We'll have to wait and see in the offseason. But it was fun to watch. I mean, honestly, the most entertaining, stress-free part of the game was Jaden Hardy, versus Bones Highland.
That was great.
Who scored 11 points in the fourth quarter.
They were going back and forth, blow for blow. Unfortunately for the Mavs, it didn't matter. I think my favorite part of last night's game was watching Russell Westbrook with the basketball. Oh. He was horrendous, and I love when he has it because I know something bad's going to happen for the Clippers.
Ty Lue and look, I can't really blame him. Harden didn't have it, so he tried to give Westbrook an extended stretch in that third quarter, and he was just awful.
He was hideous.
He has been horrific in this.
Guy's a loser, is what it is. We've been saying it all series. If he keeps playing like that,
it would not shock me if he played less than 10 minutes on Friday.
No, it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, he was that bad. He was such a detriment to what the Clippers were doing.
Better.
He was.
They might play him.
And I think there was a little sense of desperation from Ty Lue last night as well. He put P.J. Tucker in the game for the first time.
I think Tucker plays tomorrow night. I actually thought he gave them some decent energy and defense, so I would not be shocked. But, yeah, they were searching for answers in Game 5, and hopefully the Mavs carry over that momentum.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
really, the last 6 quarters, Coop, they've kicked the Clippers' ass. I mean,
they have.
They really have. So they should feel like the more confident team right now.
Go win a closeout game at home.
Yeah,
How about it?
Leave no doubt. Y for yes, N for no. Will the Mavs win Game 6? We'll see. If they do, they advance to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. That Game 1, by the way, would be on Tuesday night no matter what.
Yes.
If it goes 7, Game 7 will be on Sunday. That's another reason, look, if you win in 7, you'll take it.
You get 3 days off.
The 3 days off, Luka rest, give Kyrie a blow. That would be huge to close this thing out tomorrow night. And I'm
going to put an official prediction in here for both of us. I'm speaking for you on your behalf as well. We're going to close this out in 6. This series is over tomorrow night.
You would think Luka especially just would smell blood, knowing that 3 years ago, they blew an opportunity to close out in Game 6. The year before that, they had an opportunity to beat the Clippers in the bubble. They were unable to do so. It's time to put this team to rest.
Let's go, man.
It's time to hand the Clippers a death sentence and send them to Cabo, to Galveston, as Barkley would say, wherever you want to send those boys. But we're not going to send them to the second round. We're going to send them home.
The Mavs will be going to the second round. Be sure to join us for a watch party tomorrow night. We'll be live about 8:15 Central Time. The Stars also have a big game, so it's going to be a Dallas Palooza as well. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, we may have to have a little scoreboard lower third for you guys. For those interested in Stars, Golden Knights, should be a whole lot of fun. All right, Coop, good stuff. If there's any notable injury updates later,
keep you guys updated.
We'll throw a short on the channel or something like that, so stay tuned for that. He's Jeffrey Cooperstein. I'm Harrison Graham. Go Mavs.